I didn't realize it was that.
Well, I thought it was 8:30. Was it scheduled for 8:30 at one time?
No.
That was just the quarterly meeting, because the meeting.
7:30.
He was early.
Okay, are we ready?
You want me to bring the sausage in?
Friday.
Good evening. Welcome to the regular Selectmen's meeting, December 5th, 2013. We will open the meeting, and I will ask for a motion to sign warrants.
I make a motion, we sign warrants.
Second.
All in favor? We're all good to go. While those are going around, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of November 21st, 2013?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of November 21st, 2013.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, under old business, I want to give the board an update. We've been working on a project down at the former Lubec Marina. We are looking to install a gangway going down to a seasonal floating dock system and adding 2 transient moorings. We've been told that we have 2 grants, one from CDBG and a boating infrastructure grant, which we were told that we are tier 1, which is non-competitive. So those funds are available to the town of Lubec. I was told last week that the Maine Coastal Community grant application was approved. So we're now 3 out of 4. And I'm working with the Small Harbor Improvement Grant with Maine DOT. That's going to be the big one. And I've been working with Dan Stewart, and Dan Stewart is very enthusiastic about the grant and the project. So the deadline for the ship grant is Friday, next Friday, 13th. The one concern that we had was initially we went in with looking for no local funding, and when everything was said and done, it was recommended that we have a small portion, about $3,200, $3,254, and the RLF voted to apply.
Well,
Thank you.
I would like to thank the RLF.
yeah.
While we're doing thank yous, I'd like to thank John for all his work on all these various grants. I'd
Yeah.
also like to thank the office staff for helping him to allow him to do these grants. I know he's been doing some work at home, quite a bit of work, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you to the office staff.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
They've been working like a well-oiled machine.
Yep.
that's it, and I mean, that allows me to break away and do this. Betty, Renee, Debbie, Randy, Jim. I mean, it's a good staff and we work well together.
Good. That's wonderful. It's safe. Down a lot of money.
I'd also like to thank Carol Dennison, who's done a tremendous amount of work
Yes, she has.
and had some key stakeholders throughout the state that has really been a driving force.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, the Harbor Board is another group that's really been active in this and providing guidance. Peter Boyce, with his knowledge of the local area, has been a great asset.
Yep.
And the other person that I turn to for information is Jerry Morrison from Eastport. He's been a tremendous asset.
Good.
So, I mean, this project is looking like it's going to be a positive addition to the waterfront, and I'd like to thank all these people that make it happen, help make that happen. Next item is just a reminder, a public hearing has been scheduled for next Tuesday, 6 p.m. at the Lubec Town Office. It is in support of the brownfield application for the Lubec Historical Society. I would like to see as many people attend this as possible. There will be a sign-in. The more people that we have at the public hearing, the better our grant application will look. I mean, it's going to show that this project has a tremendous amount of public support. If anybody doesn't know, this application on behalf of the Lubec Historical Society is to clean up the former Columbian factory site. Anybody driving by can see that there is a fence already surrounding the site. And I've been working with Todd Coffin from GEI and Nick Hodgson from Maine DEP. They are enthusiastic about this project. I've got some history on the project from Maureen. Earlier years, town tried to get the site cleaned up. You know, this is based on funding, and we're not 100% that we're going to get it, but the more community involvement, we've been getting letters of support, and everything that we can put through this grant is going to increase our chances of cleaning the site up.
I hope to see all of you at that meeting.
Yeah, that would be great.
The first time we went after it, they ran out of money. But this time it's looking much better.
Good, really good.
Right, one more time, John. A location and time, please.
Okay, location, Lubec Town Office, Tuesday, December 10th, 6 p.m. It's a public hearing for the brownfield application for Lubec Historical Society cleanup. And it's to clean up the remains of the former Columbian factory.
Yeah, that's really neat.
And remediation of contaminated soil.
Yes.
Well, fortunately, that was a very small area.
Good.
Good.
Next item is to discuss with the selectmen. There's a selectmen staff meeting set for Monday, December 9th. We've been looking at a time of 7 a.m. This is going to consist of a breakfast. We've got a planned menu, and everybody has had a chance to come in and let Renee know what you plan on bringing. And afterwards, we'd like to have a sit-down with the staff and the selectmen, discuss the 5-year plan, discuss any issues, concerns, and we have an excellent communication between the staff, whether it's public works, wastewater, the town office, the recycling, and the selectmen. And this is just a chance to keep that communication open.
John, did you have
7
any?
or 7:30?
No, it's 7.
It's
Or
7.
was it changed to 7:30?
7. No, 7.
It's 7.
Okay.
Did you have any luck getting a hold of our selectman emeritus, Justin Doran, who was going to cook breakfast?
Oh,
I haven't.
No,
I brought the bacon.
he's old news. He's old news.
He was gonna cook bacon, I
He
brought
was
some
gonna
yeah, you
cook.
gotta figure out what sausage is there, too. I never know
Oh, okay, so 7 p.m., 7 a.m.,
7
excuse me, not p.m.
Yeah, Renee and I are meeting at 6 to get them started, so we have everything in the Friday, so we get.
Okay.
So bacon's here already. I follow
Sit
orders.
down. And because we're not having Christmas party, we can get everybody together, we figured this would
It's
be
like
our
a Christmas
Christmas
breakfast.
brunch
Christmas breakfast.
to have that and.
You can decorate eggs.
One,
It's
two,
Christmas themed.
Business afterwards. That's what it's got.
Well,
And that's
it's changing
it, I
it
mean-
around a little once, huh?
Unbelievable.
I mean, most of the time when we get a chance to get together, it's business related. But I mean, it will give us a chance to just sit down and enjoy a meal in a social setting.
Yeah.
So I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next item, we discussed the agreement for the furnace with Pelico.
Mm-hmm.
I've received a copy of the agreement. Hopefully the selectmen have had a chance to review it. They're asking to have that signed and turned into them. If the selectmen would be willing to sign it, or if they'd like to ask me to sign it.
I'm fine with you signing it, John.
Okay.
I
Can I
make
get
the
a
motion.
motion for that?
I make the motion that we have John sign that.
We've
I
gone
second
over it
it.
and over it, and the incident, and agreed with it 100 times.
That's it, just do it.
Let's
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll have the record there.
Okay, any
Okay.
discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah, Jim was the second. Susan's on it.
So now
Tell
there's
them to
more.
change the date on it, it says October.
Next item is a reminder, we put the tanker out to bid previously and we received no bids on it. And after bids closed, 6 people come in and expressed an interest. So we decided that probably the best thing to be fair with everybody is to rebid it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
to date, we've only received 1 bid. But I really wanted to get a reminder that to all these people that said they were interested, the bid will close at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 18th. And the bids will be opened by the Board of Selectmen on the Selectmen's meeting the following night. So
Okay.
if you have an interest in the former tanker, please get your bid in.
And it's an as-is, where is,
And as is, where is.
There is, what is.
what is.
Yeah, so, but you had 6 people.
We had numerous people coming up wanting to know what the status of the tanker was. You know, 1 or 2 people, you might want to sit down and talk to them after bids close, but when you've got that number, really the only way to be fair is to just rebid it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've taken a cost, we put it in the paper, we've got it on Channel 7.
Good.
Put it back out there, see what happens. We've only received 1 bid.
Okay.
So if you have an interest, chances are if you don't put your bid in, it could be gone.
Right.
I hope so.
Yes.
We don't need it all winter, so they
It'll be a windbreaker.
have
you
fun,
go.
fun. Okay.
Next item, we had a opening on a planning board associate, and Sharon Yates stepped forward and expressed an interest in doing that.
Good.
So I'd like to ask the board to consider her and approve her if they desire.
So we need a motion to appoint, I make a motion to appoint Sharon Yates as associate to the planning board.
Second. All in favor?
And thank you, Sharon.
I mean, people,
What's it, just front page or?
you know, all these boards and these committees that the town have, you know, they don't work unless people step up and volunteer. Next item is the 4th of July committee is looking for a chairperson. The person that did it last year is unable to do so. If anybody has an interest in being the chairperson for the 4th of July committee, typically during the winter months, that's when a lot of the fundraising starts, to have the funds for the events that they put on. And if somebody in the community has an interest in heading this committee, please contact the Lubec Town Office, 733-2341, so we can get your name to the selection for appointment.
One thing about that, I understand the pyrotechnic company that usually does our display has called and said that they would give quite a discount if it's done within the next month.
And my
So-
understanding is that this year the 4th of July is on a Friday,
Yeah.
so these weekend pyrotechnics is probably going to book up quite quickly.
Now, that's,
So,
Joanne, that's something that we make the arrangements on, right? Or
No,
does it
the
go through the
committee.
4th of July committee?
Yep.
Wow. In order to take advantage of this, should we,
well, I mean, what
It's a
happens if
budget
there's,
issue, if there's not enough money in their fundraising.
what happens if there's not a function, I mean, you know,
We may not have enough money to cover it.
I mean, this is why, you know, the committee will spend time in the winter
raising money.
raising money and fundraising.
This is also the time of year when people who come to the parades want notification to book their schedules.
Right.
For Shriners and all of those.
I mean, the sooner that you can book them, then, you know, the better chance that you're gonna have of getting a commitment. So if anybody's interested in heading this committee, please contact the Lubec Town Office, and we'll take your name.
You're saying head the committee, are there members on the committee? No?
it's, We've had
Does anyone
in
know?
the sense that it's volunteer, and each year it seems to change. Or it has in the last 4 years, it's been a rotating group.
Next item is an announcement that sewer foreclosures are scheduled for December 23rd, 2013. So we have a list. I would like to commend the office staff. We had some people that are no longer in the area, and they really jumped through a lot of hoops to make sure that they were notified, to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to come in and take care of this. And some people that it was questionable as to whether or not we could find them. Sure enough, they found them, they notified them. I talked to Randy, and the top one and the bottom one, he has a commitment on, and the other account, he said typically they come in and take care of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of these people own property, they move, we don't get any notification of forwarding address. And I'll give the staff credit, they do track them down, they find contacts and find ways of getting hold of these people and making sure that they have the opportunity to take care of it.
And once again, they're relatively small amounts
They're
of
small
money.
amounts.
And please, folks, it isn't worth risking all of that for a little bit of money for that.
Nothing? Next item is an announcement that the Lubec Fire Department is sponsoring a fun day at the Lubec Elementary School, Saturday, December 7th. It's from 12 to 3. I know the last couple of years, the fire department has gone out, they've rented some of the bouncy houses and stuff from Whitney's. They've had the train running back and forth, and the kids have a great time. Had a conversation at the local Lions Club, which I'm a member of. The Lions Club has agreed to provide some manpower to help out. And this is another case where, you know, thanks to the fire department and the volunteers that we can have this. I've been to it for a couple of years, and the kids have a good time, and I have a good time.
Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there.
Yeah, and I believe we'll be able to write Santa a letter.
Yeah.
What's the date on that again, John?
Saturday.
Saturday, December 7th.
It's sort of a warm-up for the parade that night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's it, from 12 to 3, right? And
Yes.
then
Right.
The parade's at 6.
6.
And it'll be dark at 6.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
3:30.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarter full.
The next item is the Lubec Christmas Parade will be on Saturday, December 7th at 6 p.m. So, I'd like to invite everybody downtown to come and watch the parade. And, it should be a good time.
There's still time to build a float. Or, new this year, a walking division, so.
Yep.
Floats and walkers.
We need some electrified mummers.
Well, our first year we had 18 floats, and then progressively got smaller, and then last year we went back to 7 or 8. Yeah.
Oh, well, good.
All you need is a small 12-volt battery, an inverter, and those hyper lights. And, right,
Yeah.
wrap yourself up.
I was lit up.
Go with a glowing snowball.
Yeah.
I was lit up, but I don't remember how. I was plugged in via extension cord, that was kind of dangerous. Don't do that.
There are
Show out you
prizes.
have a perm.
What's more fun is the kids.
Yeah.
The kids love it, they just love it.
Good.
I'd like to ask the selectmen to sign the sewer commitment for the period August 1st to October 31st.
I make a motion that we sign the sewer commission.
Second.
All in favor?
We all have gray on. I just happened to notice that when I was passing that
Oh, my
along.
goodness. Isn't that odd?
That is odd. Yeah.
Small shoes, right?
Mm.
A little darker. Okay, next item, we have a person that has two accounts, and Betty, when she went through the billing, she noticed there's an overcharge.
No, actually, this person bought 3 pieces of property, but has combined them as one. They prorated it when they did the closing, so we get the money that was due up until that point. Unfortunately, our billing system won't allow me to go in and change those figures, so I had to put the full amount in. And this would be the rebate of $8.54 on one account, $8.53 on the other account. So that now I can combine these as one piece of property.
Oh, okay.
So she'll get charged for one lateral.
Yes.
So we motion for
Yeah,
that?
we need a
Yes.
motion.
Oh,
I make a
I'm
motion
sorry.
that we, I make a motion that we sign the sewer abatement.
I just read on a roll here.
All there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still on a roll here.
Okay, next item is committee updates.
I will announce that there is a Shellfish Committee meeting December 18th. I'm not sure if we will have the DMR rep present, as I haven't received a response to my email yet, but I will recontact them and let you know of the disposition of that. And that's at 4, here at the town office. And we still have 2 positions open on the Shellfish Committee, and I'd like it to be harvesters, shellfish harvesters. It doesn't have to be. It could be anybody that likes to get their feet wet on a committee and meet some people in town and get to know your neighbors. So it's really open to any resident with an interest. And it's 1 meeting a month, and during the course of the year, you're, as a committee member, expected to go out and put in your conservation time, which is another way of finding your way around the flats, tidal flats. Yes.
Green crab.
Oh, the Green Crab Summit. The town of Lubec participated in a 24-hour experimental trapping of the European green crab, which has devastated some of the clam flats in the southern part of the state. Anticipating that it will occur here, the state did basically a snapshot trapping for 24 hours, and the summit will be the tally of all of the results of this trapping. I'm planning on attending. I hope we can get the chairman of our Shellfish Committee to join me in that. And I don't know where all of this information's going, but we're a stakeholder in this. We've got 93 miles of shoreline, and if a decision is made to handle the green crab problem, whether through trapping or elimination in some manner, I think we need to be aware of what's going on with this. Our trapping sites were along the southern portion of the town's tidal flats. I was told by many of the fishermen that up in the river, that's the area in the Cobscope that the town has basically the other half of its shoreline frontage mileage, that it's even worse there. So I would like to mention that at this summit and see if maybe we can't do a test trap in that area. But the bottom line is, we need to do something about this predator. What's been tried in other locales is fencing, which you can imagine, that's crazy. So, but humans don't have a very good track record with trying to correct one problem without causing another one someplace else. So, we're just gonna have to go slow and be at the table and see what the plan is.
Is there any kind of market for this?
Well, this may be a possibility. I don't want to say there is, but there have been a couple of scientists that have experimented with crab mints, which can be used for agricultural feed, or actual cooking and then a processing, which is an expensive piece of machinery, to derive something that can be used in other seafood products. So, like I said, it's still a little too early to say positively what this is going to turn out to be, but it may be another fishery.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, you've got this green crab that can provide an issue. But I mean, if there was some way to find something that's marketable, you know, somebody might take an interest, and you know, these shellfish can make a little bit of money helping eradicate this problem at the same time.
Right. I mean, I know there's a lot of serious individuals working on this, and I didn't want to start, you know, shooting off saying, well, you know, we got Costa Maine up there in Medibemps, and they can, you know, process that. Well, maybe there's a reason why crabs aren't good for that, but I'm sure somebody's working on this, and we'll just see what's going to happen.
Well, it's an invasive species.
It's
So
been
what do they
invasive since
do with it?
1890.
But what do they do with it elsewhere? I mean, there must be other places that have this, where it came from, where they deal with it.
Apparently, because our winters have gone milder, it's not
That's
knocking them down, and now in the last few years, it's really started to show that they're not getting knocked down like they used to. So, I guess we could pray for colder winters, or normal winters, but then again, with all of the recent interest, one way or the other, regarding climate assessment, wow, it looks like it's going one way.
But where it came from? What do people do? How do they handle it where it came from?
They try to get rid of it.
Yeah, how they handle it, they send it to us. Right, right, that's what it seems like. I mean, I'm not sure if it's as big a problem because of the species incompatibility. My understanding is that the crab will eat anything, even other dead crabs. But with clams, the soft shell clam, what it has a tendency to do is to find the pipe and grab it, and then it just keeps going in a circle until it breaks it off. Well, then the clam dies, and the crab got a little bit to eat.
They don't actually bore into them, that's your moon snail.
That's the moon snail,
Oh, that's the
right.
moon snail that
Right.
goes into them.
Yeah.
Right.
The green crab will crack them
Right.
open.
Right, and we were not allowed to put the counted crabs from that 24-hour trapping back in the water for the purpose of disposing of it, because it's just more food for crabs.
Right.
So between the moon snails and the green crab, we're pretty, the
Moon
clams
snails
are
will eat the green crabs, but we've been
trying to get rid of the
both
moon
them-
snails.
Both of them are eating our
Right.
clams.
Right.
And the other thing
Wow.
most crabs do, they'll also eat plankton, just like a lobster.
Yeah.
Right. And then dead debris or anything else that can find on food and so on. They're tough to get rid of, get rid of.
Yeah, I'll keep the board apprised of developments on that.
I know the CDBG Town Improvement Committee will be having a meeting tomorrow here at 4 p.m. I'd like to see everybody that can make it. Last time we had a meeting, there was only 3 of us that showed up. Yeah, we had a chance to sit down. I thought we had a pretty productive meeting.
Actually, we did.
And we get more people and anybody else got anything?
The Council of Governments will meet on the 10th. The Scudic Sculpture Symposium Group, planning on putting up a Christmas tree in the coming days, to highlight the location. And Marathon Committee is up and running and getting ready for June 15th, Father's Day
That's what it's
Marathon.
gonna be, June 15th?
save the date, tell all your running friends, sign up now. And believe it or not, will be New Year's before we know it, and I think this is the third year. We'll be freezing for a reason and jumping in down at the boat ramp, raising money for, to keep people warm when we freeze our butts off for the afternoon. So it'll probably be around 11 a.m., right around high tide. So come on down and watch us. Hopefully it will be a nice, warm, sunny day.
I don't think it's gonna help, Sarah. Speaking of keeping warm, I wanna remind our seniors, we do have a senior fuel fund. It is available to anyone over 60. And, if you need fuel, if you're getting low on fuel, please call the town office, 733-2341. There are funds available.
Speaking of which, I'd like to thank some of those individuals who would rather remain anonymous with their donations for specifically the senior fuel fund. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, yeah, no problem.
I mean, it really surprises me year over year, the amount of generosity, the amount of people, I mean, even if it's as little as $20, and some have been over 1,000.
Yeah.
And that's what that fund is there for, it's for seniors that need help with fuel, and they want to stay in their home, and it's something that the town does, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, oh, certainly.
We started it about 6 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
Any other committee updates?
On committee, but I think the library's having their Christmas tea this weekend
Yes,
on
they are.
Sunday at 1 and 3.
1:30.
1:30.
Maybe, do you have anything?
I did.
I didn't have time, I spent 3 days doing Sudo.
Prior to this meeting opening, I had to make sure all of our board members had a copy of this from Jeff Herman's with MMA. Yes, and this is a request for impact analysis for proposed municipal service charge authority. And this is in a response to legislation that's being created to help towns which have a large portion of their acreage under one form of a tax exemption or another. And we were not one of the towns originally chosen, and I don't know what the criteria was for choosing the towns that did get selected, but some of you may or may not remember that last year during the state budget cycle, during the Appropriations and Finance Committee, the town of Lubec sent representatives armed with our situation, with having nearly 1/3 of our land mass under one form of the tax exemption. And we feel that this is a burden on the town's ability to tax equally and fairly on the revenue that we could be getting. And some of these organizations do pay in lieu, but not all of them. So apparently, as a result, yes, there's one in our town. As a result of our being there, MMA had requested all of our data that we turned into the Appropriations and Finance Committee, and two legislators have put forward bills to balance this and give the towns some way to compensate. It's a little short notice from our end to come up with everything, but I still feel that it's important that we look at this so that everyone knows that everybody in town is paying fairly for the land and services that they use. So I support this. I don't know if other board members feel the same. I don't know if it's appropriate that we contact them, although I do know that MMA does have our information.
Well, that's the part that gets me. I mean, you know, if you're looking for more information on how many acres the town is, you know how many acres right now has been taken out of the tax base.
Right.
They know what kind of town, as far as business and work, ethic there is here is very little.
Right.
But yet, on the other hand, we need to give them more information on what.
Well, the only
This is-
observation I made was that there's two parts of this state, and one part of the state is allowed, each town is allowed a moment when a land conservation group wants to buy, say, another 100 acres. If it's within a certain percentage of their total valuation, the town legislative body, the people, can choose to vote yes or no on that. The other part of the state, our part of the state, we don't have that. And I've always perceived this as being taxation without representation. And this may balance it, although this task force is looking to create a formula that will work for both parts of the state. Now, if these towns are all,
Yeah.
and it is,
Yeah.
then we need to be one of the towns in Down East that is represented as to how does the formula work for us.
Right.
So, I know you've got a work
That's what I
schedule
say.
to
Yeah,
beat
the
to
formula
band,
doesn't
but I
work.
really think we can't miss the opportunity to follow through on this and at least make sure that we're one of the talking points. Now, just recently, in a local newspaper, there was 2 letters to the editor regarding Eastport, and I was shocked that, oh my God, there's another town that has the same problem we have. 34% of their land is under one form of tax exemption or another, and it's like, well, I thought we were the only ones. Well, guess what? We're not the only ones.
No, no.
And maybe we need to band together and present our situation as to how this doesn't work. And where is the end? After almost 28 years of this program, has it ever been reviewed? Has the state ever said, you know, maybe it's time to put this back on the table and see how's it working and get in touch with every little town that's got a bunch of land under this, is where are they at? So, this is where I'm at with it. We have an opportunity to put our hand up and say, we want Lubec's information to be part of this formula creation.
Oh,
I think we can enlist Jim to help you with this too. Jim did do a study on this a few years ago, so he probably has a lot of the information that they're asking for here. It may have to be updated somewhat, but he has a start. We did try to do a voluntary thing a few years ago, and the only one that stepped up was the one organization.
The one, yeah. Yeah, I think that where the state said its hands in its nuts, they ought to be the ones that reimburse the town plain and simply. Because
I
the
just
only
think-
fair way that it's going to be is if we get reimbursed from Augusta on the taxes that the town overall is losing due to all the land trusts and all this other. And they can work out whatever they need to with the organizations that own the land.
Right.
But the town should not suffer on these, and the people that's in it, because,
Has anybody contacted Jeff on this from Lubec?
Yes,
You
that's
did?
how I get that.
That's how you got this from
Yes.
him? But did anybody think to ask why anybody northeast of Rockport is not on this list?
I didn't have the list, I just asked when,
No, but I was wondering if
Right.
John or anybody of
yeah, that's a good point.
when I contacted him to find out what was, you know, if we could be one of the towns, that was when I get that, and told me that we'd be very interested, because we've already made a presentation in Augusta.
Right.
And he didn't think that what they were asking was a little bit different from what our presentation was. And I said, but we're already doing some of this stuff, we've been trying to do this in a different format, and I think we should have our involvement, so we sent it to me, so that was,
See, the thing is, it
But
gets
he
me when
said
they
it-
speak that way and says, well, you know, it's a little bit different format or whatever, that for these other towns and us, it still comes out to the same thing. If your land's taking out the tax base and you gotta make up the differences, that's for everybody.
And I'd like to know how much percentage
Yeah,
each one of these,
Yes, I agree.
because I guarantee it's under
Oh,
ours.
way under. Oh, yeah, way under. Sure it is.
The only two
Interesting
towns
that
on here
Prescott and
that,
Caribou are on here.
Yeah,
yeah, you got
Yeah,
Caribou, you
Prescott,
got
Caribou.
Lewiston, you got Prescott. I
yeah.
don't even, it's not even close.
No, oh gosh, no.
Rockport and
either way
Sanford are the only two areas that are even,
Okay.
Yeah. It needs
So
checking.
we can have Jim look into this and,
Yeah.
and
so we'll have to be down on Monday, because if we're not, we won't make the deadline, because it has the 2 weeks to get this done,
That's right.
so.
can you
Okay.
fill this out?
Yep.
I didn't call Jeff Herman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
He's been around for a long, long time, that bird. All Southern Maine financing, yes. They don't even think we exist up here.
No.
Okay, does anyone else have anything?
Nope.
If not, we will